Halloween
Forever.
It's a long way to the top if you want to run over your mom with a car. Welcome, boys and ghouls, to a fucking Minisode of Halloween's Forever Bright.
I'm Meg.
I'm Steve.
We're in the fucking rock and roll mindset, you guys, because nothing rocks harder than fucking bad boy demons with cool coiffed hair telling kids to kill their parents. I fucking had a blast with this movie, guys. We haven't even said what it's going to be, but you probably read the title of the episode that you just clicked on. We are talking about 1988 rock and roll horror classic. This one I had seen before, but I forgot how fucking wild it was. I feel like I watched it probably half drunk on the couch and was like, this movie's kind of goofy. And this is the first time I paid attention. I was like, Jesus Christ, this movie's goofy as fuck. Had you guys watched this one before?
So you asked that, and I there's so many of these movies that I just all have conflated in my head together, because there's Rock and Roll Nightmare with John Mickle-Thor,
which is directed by the same person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, is like this guy has one speed as far as directing, and it's Rock and Roll Nightmare, Zombie Nightmare, which is it's similar, and then it has an entire soundtrack by Motorhead, and then he has this one. So and then
which
there's also
doesn't have an entire soundtrack by Motorhead, unfortunately.
No, but they have. I think they have Testament, maybe. So
is that who it is?
Oh, they have. Well, I mean, they have a couple. They have a couple people.
Couple songs pop up on there.
Yeah. They also have. Just as far as movies like this go, there's also Trick or Treat and shit.
With Rock's Chosen God. What's his Rock's Chosen Warrior or whatever. What's his fucking name?
Forget.
I'll think of it. In any case, guys, before we get into the actual flick, we got a couple of things we got to discuss at the top of the show. I, for one, and I think I've had this beer on the show before, but I felt it was so appropriate. I went with the Sly Fox Black Lager because
So punk rock.
Black roses, and black is the most demonic of colors, you guys. If the kids in your school start wearing black, buckle the fuck in. Because shit's about to get wild. Dads are going to get fucked. Beers are going to get drank. People are getting shot in the goddamn face. It's going to get crazy. So I figured I might as well drink up just the most satanic of lagers that I had in my cooler. So what are you guys drinking?
Oh, nice. I picked up, or I had this for a little while, but it's the Dancing Gnome and Short Story Brewing collab called A Brief Glimpse Through a Portal, and it's double IPA, but they use that phantasm, the thiol derived from the wine must or grape skin, and it's pretty good. I had it the day that I picked up the can and stuff like that, and it was really nice, and getting more citrus notes today versus more tropical, but it's still really nice. It's
that is
cool.
a very dramatic name for a beer. What was it again?
Brief Glimpse Through a Portal. It also kind of sounds like it would be a pretty good horror movie name though too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a poem I wrote in freshman year of college or something.
It sounds like a shitty YA novel, a wrinkle in time, a brief glimpse through a portal.
Yeah.
Brian was going to say they just found your journal when you were in high school, and then they're naming all of their beers after poems you wrote.
Yeah, they saw.
Did you not know?
Yeah,
are you getting paid for this?
I should probably call my lawyer because, guys, I'm wearing my studded belt. I'm drinking black lager. I might as well jump back into those high school skateboard days and start reading fucking emo ass poetry.
That's so funny.
Yeah. What do you got, Steve?
I just have a nice IPA from Stick City, the Sprinter 4x4.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get back over there. I keep saying that every time somebody brings them up, but I haven't. But I do need to get over there.
If you have you had their Arctos 12 degree Pilsner?
No, I have not. I see they do it on the side pour and all that. I have not been into since not long after they opened, so it's been a few years probably.
Well, they're another spot too that has all side pours too. I don't know if you knew that.
It's all side pours? Okay.
Yeah.
I do need to go up there. I don't know why I don't. It's not even that far from me. I don't know. I just haven't. I've just been alarmingly busy. So the only place I ever get beers that aren't beers from my employer is I go to Creekside occasionally and get some beers, or people bring them to my house. I'm pretty much just a fucking hermit otherwise. But yeah, I do need to get up there.
Yeah, I think you'd like that Pilsner though, because it's like it's all Saaz hopped and on the side pull and all that. So
we speak my language. Speak my language. Sweet. Okay, couple of other short orders of business we got to get out of the way. First of all, I will say, for those of you who have not heard, I know it's really, listen, the news is moving fast. I'm hearing it in the streets. I'm seeing, pamphlets falling from buildings. We are going to do a live fucking show, you guys. We are going to do the podcast recording live on June the 25th at Hop Farm Brewing in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in Lawrenceville. We are going to do a live episode / release party of a very fun and interesting beer that I'm excited to try that Meg, you brewed with those folks over there. Was there anybody else involved in the collaboration? Who else was involved?
We brought in Coven Brewing Company.
Oh, Coven, that's right.
They just recently opened in Pittsburgh. So
yeah, sweet, spooky, witchy beers. Fucking put a bunch of flowers in them. Celebrate May Day. We're gonna do human sacrifices. I don't know. I would assume one of the three of us are gonna die that evening. So if you want to see one of our live deaths on stage, come out, check us out on June the 25th. We'll put up some information as we get a little bit closer on the old social media. Speaking of the social medias, you should probably go over and follow us if you haven't already and give us some suggestions and things like that. In fact, this particular minisode, this discussion of black roses, was suggested to us by one of our social media friends and listeners, Percasso. So perk like something's perky. I don't know. Percasso _the_ mundane. Percasso the Mundane on Instagram suggested this to us, and we were like, you know what? We didn't decide on something this week, so let's fucking do some black roses.
Well, we also had issues because Meg went and saw Men, but then you and I couldn't get out to the theater.
That was the other thing. Yes,
and we were thinking about doing Stranger Things, but you had not been caught up on Stranger Things. So
that's true. Yes. Plan A, out the window. Plan B, also out the window. So if you have a suggestion for us, it might be our plan C, you guys. Send it our way. We always throw them in the hopper, whether or not we use them or not. But suggestions for minisodes or for showdown episode topics, send them our way. Either shoot us an email. It's halloweenisforeverpod@gmail.com, or slide on into the DMs at Halloween is Forever on Instagram, Halloween is Forever Podcast on Facebook, at Hallow Forever on Twitter, or at Halloween is Forever Pod on TikToks. Send us one of them old DMs. We'll get it that way too, and we'll put it on the list and let the spinny ass wheel figure it out for us. But speaking of showdown episodes, Meg, you've been fucking sandbagging. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually pretty happy about my choice.
Okay. All right. So let's recap the topic for our showdown episode, which will be next week's episode, was creatures from the deep. Or monsters from the deep. We pulled out for our 1-year anniversary. We each picked a topic that we thought was one that got snubbed at some point in the last year that didn't get picked by our listeners. We each picked one, and then we let the listeners decide. Of those three, Steve's pick, Creatures from the Deep, got selected. I decided to choose 2006 The Host, a little Korean monster, sea monster flick. Steve, remind us what your pick was.
I picked Piranha 3D with the all-star cast, you know, and the great monster effects.
Yes. Steve is making me nervous. He's scheming. He's fucking up to something. I don't know what it is yet. He's smiling very large. It's right now is making me very unnerved.
I'm just really happy with the film I went with because I feel like not many people thought ahead of time, like how good that movie is. How when's the last time you've seen it?
I guess probably when it came out. And listen. I'm excited to rewatch. I'm gonna go in with an open mind. Okay. Now, Meg has been sandbagging, playing fucking mind games with us. She didn't have her pick ready for last week, so do you have a pick ready for this week? Please
Guys,
say
I'm
yes.
ready. I'm fucking...
I thought you were going to go, no, I do not.
No, I am 110% ready to go.
What are you picking?
Speaking of all-star casts, I have decided to go with Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, Jesus Christ on a cracker, you guys. Deepest,
I'm really excited about it.
Bluest. My hat is like a shark's fin. You guys. Deep Blue Sea.
I'm ready for it.
I like that movie. I like it. I'm excited to watch it again. It hasn't been that long since I watched it. I probably watched it in the last 2 years.
Oh, nice.
I've probably seen that movie a good 4 or 5 times.
Oh, nice.
It's a fun one to watch with a group of people.
Yeah, it's one I probably actually haven't seen in maybe 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, if not more.
I mean, it stinks, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm coming from on that one.
Fine.
And really, I mean, the soundtrack, you guys, you can't deny that lyrical genius that is L. Wait, is it LL Cool J or Ice Cube that does it?
No, it's LL Cool J.
Yeah, it's LL Cool J. I was gonna say LL, but then I was like, wait, am I wrong in that? No. Guys.
No, you're thinking Anaconda.
I am thinking Anaconda. You are 100% right because I just watched Anaconda not that long ago. In any case, ladies love Cool James is coming in hard with his hat is in fact like a shark's fin, and he's going to talk about it at length. So go out and watch those movies, guys. Go watch Ladies Love Cool James in Deep Blue Sea. Go watch The Host. Go watch Piranha 3D. Preferably watch The Host first. Don't throw it at the end, guys. Don't throw it at the end, guys. I'm curating the experience for them, Meg. Come on.
Quote unquote.
I think Brian's writing this to get it out of the way.
Yeah,
there we go.
The more stoned you are when you get to Piranha 3D, the better for Steve. All right. So that's what's coming up next week. And then, you know what? We got some fun stuff beyond that, but we'll keep it to ourselves and talk about it on that particular episode. Let's get into this fucking flick. John Fasano directed a little film called Black Roses in 1988. Guys, this movie had like a fucking $1 million budget.
It was a lot.
Was it?
It really did. I couldn't believe it. It had
surprising.
I know. I mean, that might be like all in promotional and everything, but like this movie had a substantial budget. And aside from a couple of like creature effects, I don't know where it went.
Maybe it went to King Cobra.
Yeah, they rented those. I mean, it's not like they bought Lamborghinis. They rented those by the hour.
Are you sure he didn't buy them?
If this was some sort of money laundering situation or something, maybe.
Well, and I'm gonna say this. I want to say this, but I don't want to like incur the Danzig impersonation.
Yeah.
But this movie's really Italian, you guys.
It's very Italian. So much so that what's his fucking name from The Sopranos?
Vincent Pastore in basically his second role ever.
Yeah.
Also known as Big Pussy from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up and it like just full on, hey, Stunad, go help your
Bafangura. Yeah.
Go help your mother with the dishes.
Yeah, don't eat on my salumi. Yeah, he is. It is. Yeah, we'll get there. My God, that's a fucking scene. When you watch that scene and the creature effects in that scene, and then go, this movie cost $1 million. That is really where it hits you in the craw. That really sticks in your craw when you hear that. But all right, so let's lay it out. Let's lay out what happens in this movie, right? It is essentially a flash dance, but with demons and metal. That's what I'm just going to throw that out. That's essentially the plot of the movie. No, I mean, it kind of is a little bit.
Yeah, no, it is, and it just so happens that like flash dance or dirty dancing, you know, where these things are banned and they're frowned upon. Yeah, and like the father gets proven wrong in the end. Mm-hmm. In this case, father's right. Like, this is evil metal. Don't bring it in. Like, they're right all along.
It's basically Flashdance with metal, but then the parents were right.
Right.
That's essentially what it is.
And the kids still killed all of them.
And then the kids killed them all. And but then nothing was solved at the end. But listen, we're jumping ahead here, guys. I couldn't help but think of, do you remember back in the day when you buy, the CDs off of like late night, 1-800 numbers for, Columbia Club or whatever bullshit.
Oh yeah,
Columbia House, or they'd send the freaking, they'd have all these like compilations like Monsters of Rock and shit like that. Yeah. I couldn't stop thinking of Monsters of Rock because we are treated early on, like literally 30 seconds into the movie, we are treated to, I would say, the best or the second best scene in the movie, which is a fucking just band of like hair metal. Like they're dressed kind of metally, but it's more like hair metal cock rock is what they're kind of playing a little bit. And they have kind of feathered fancy hair, but they is demons. So the whole band is demons, and they the effects are actually not bad. They're not horrible, especially the lead singer, who's this big demon with like this big, like kind of claptrap mouth with big teeth. And it actually moves when he sings. Like, it's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the effects overall aren't bad. It's just they're usually filmed wrong.
Yes.
And then the other thing is like they could stand to be colored differently. Because they're all for being demons, they're all ball bag colored.
Yeah. They all look a little bit like the alien from Mac and Me. Like, they're that color. They also light them terribly. The lighting and sound design in this movie are fucking horrible. Like I don't know where they spent their fucking money. It wasn't on actors.
Lamborghini.
I was gonna say, was this just an excuse for John Fasano to buy him and John Micklethorpe Lamborghinis?
Maybe. So
and it's just him driving around in Lambos.
So again, if you go into like the cast list, like half of the cast's names end in a vowel. Yeah. And then you even have you have Lou Ferrigno's wife is
Patty Ferrigno.
Yeah.
Is it really Patty?
No, it's Carla Ferrigno.
Okay, I was going to say
Carla Ferrigno.
If it's Patty, I'm going to be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's playing the love interest of the teacher. And then you also have, and this is where some of the money probably went, Julie Adams from Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She played the woman that was like, hyping everyone up and like, trying to get everything shut down. Yeah.
I did not realize that was her. Yes. But that makes sense now that you say that. But I mean, that when did this come out? This is like 35, 40 years after Creature from the Black Lagoon came out, right?
But if you had to pay somebody on this, you pay Carla Ferrigno and Julie Adams. These are the two names that get money.
I guess. Does Lou Ferrigno's wife, like, has she been in other things?
I assume.
I was going to say, like, I would never know who Lou Ferrigno's wife is. You know what I mean?
Right. I only know it because I looked it up.
Yeah.
And she did 2 movies before Black Roses, and then she was in the Death of the Incredible Hulk TV movie. So, and then she was on The King of Queens a lot, playing herself, because Lou Ferrigno was on that show, playing himself.
I forgot that he was on there. Yeah. Oh, good God, that show fucking blows. My friend Brian, for like a hot sec, he was trying to convince me that show was really good and really funny. And he was like, you gotta try, it's really fun. And we sat down and watched episodes. I'm like, the show fucking sucks. It's not even a little bit funny. The only thing funny about it is Jerry Stiller. Like, he's literally the only thing funny on it.
There's one funny thing. I've never really watched the show that much, and this is just a tangent, but it's just a funny thing to look up on the internet, is find like the video of Patton Oswalt explaining something he did on set. And there's an episode where he's in the background and then he never moves purposely. Like, he never reacts. He never, like, there's a whole bunch of shit going on.
There, stone faced.
He stands there like a creep the entire time and doesn't move.
Yeah.
So it's a very funny thing to just kind of watch. It's just, but like,
I like some of the people on the show. Like, and I don't have any issue with Kevin James. I mean, I don't think he's necessarily funny, but I don't hate him or dislike him or anything like that. It's just not a fucking funny show.
No, most sitcoms aren't.
I know. Well, there's some. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off on a tangent here. We didn't come here to talk about King of Queens. We came here to talk about Satanic rock and roll music, guys. I did make a note here. So it starts out, like I said, demon band, fucking full makeup. It's pretty sweet. You're like, oh shit, 30 seconds in, we're getting goddamn demon band. I do appreciate that the demons have human hair, which I did mention.
Yes.
I did make a note because I kind of laughed out loud 30 seconds in when they cut to the crowd and it's a bunch of kids and there's a kid in the front row just flailing his arms like the Swedish chef. Like his arms are made of rubber. I don't know why. That tickled me. But then, cops bust in and go to shut down the show. You don't have any idea what's happening. And then some just like kind of quasi skeletons come out of the auditorium, but they're kind of like people in skeleton shirts. I don't know. It's like I said, it's lit really, really poorly. They could have made the effect serviceable, but they didn't.
There's no consistency with the effects and what the demons look like.
No,
sometimes they look like the ball bag Mac and Me's, but then like other times, like you're saying, they have like these weird like Halloween store skeletons. It's just like, this is what we had. Sorry.
Yeah, you could tell they were like, well, we need to have more like creatures on screen. We don't just want to have a bunch of kids there. So yeah, those scenes. It looks like. Have you ever seen the Vincent Price, Peter Cushing? The wraparound part has them in it. It is Monster Club.
Okay, no.
Monster Club is a lot of fun. It's like a musical anthology, really campy. Anyway, it's awesome. But there is a monster club that they are in, and like monsters are dancing and doing club things, and they just have like fucking rubber masks on the background, and that's what it reminded me of.
It was the Monster Club.
Yeah, it's
there was a big hubbub.
Don't write this song right now, because now that's a whole other episode. Yeah, so that's it. And then you get this is one of those movies where no one would care about it and it would not exist in the public eye at all if it didn't have a real fast start. You know what I mean? Like, people flip this on Tubi and start. But I should mention, forgive me. Hold on, let me do a little do my cross. Guys, forgive me. This is free on Tubi. Please do not smite me, Tubi. That was an honest mistake. I forgot to mention. It is available in our Lord and Savior's holy text, which is Tubi, for free. Anyway, you pop it on Tubi and you're like, oh fuck, 30 seconds in, Monster Band? Fuck yeah, I'll hang out for an hour and 20 minutes. But if it didn't have that, you'd turn it the fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes Monster Band, then it goes credit sequence with Lamborghinis.
Yeah, ominous Lamborghinis.
Ominous Lambos.
Yeah.
And then like the kind of that little art effect that they do.
That title screen?
Yeah.
That
That
fucking
rules.
ruled.
Yeah.
I literally wrote that. Title screen rules. That's my note.
There's a good chance maybe a lot of the budget went into that.
Yeah.
to make that effect, like getting someone to hand paint over the.
That was really cool. Yeah, like I said, you're 5 minutes into this movie, you're like, oh fuck, this movie's gonna be awesome. Dude gets out of a Lambo with a cod piece. You're like, fuck yeah. And then it kind of it doesn't hold up that level for the remainder of the flick, but it's not. I didn't hate it or anything like that. But
no, that was like my only critique is that it felt slow throughout like half of it. Majority of it.
Too much of the fucking teach grooming kids and just being a creep. There's a little too much of that, but we'll get into it, guys. The town is abandoned all the time. Like, why? Anytime there's a street view, is there no extras? They find, I don't know if it's some sort of set or if it's just one of those like abandoned towns that they shoot things in or whatever. But like,
I'm pretty sure it was like an abandoned town in Ontario.
Okay. Oh yeah, this movie, we should say, is painfully Canadian. Yeah,
it was shot in Ontario and then parts of Westchester, New York. Yeah,
I got excited there when you said Westchester for a sec. I thought, the CKY crew was going to pop out in the background or whatever.
They might have made this a little bit more fun.
I know, yeah.
Come on, Bam! I don't want no demons playing in my house.
Oh man, it's just.
Before we go too far on that, away from the band, though, and I already mentioned it right before we were starting to record, but the band actually exists called King Cobra. But that drummer that I mentioned that was like a Tom Savini lookalike, I was really impressed because he actually had a stint with Ozzy Osbourne and then also Rod Stewart.
Okay.
And he also like co-wrote "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" And I was just like looking into this. I was like, this guy's fucking awesome.
He's lived a life.
Wait, you saying that's Ozzy's old boy? Sorry, that was a very obscure Aqua Teen reference from the episode where Zach Wilde came on.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that's Ozzy's old boy? More like Zach Mild. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yes. Okay.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's okay. I that makes sense. I feel like I've seen him before. He also looks a little bit like the drummer. And actually, now that I think about it, from This Is Spinal Tap, do you think maybe the drummer from This Is Spinal Tap is loosely based on him? Because they kind of look alike too.
Probably. I would not be surprised. I was really impressed. Like, he's worked with a bunch of different bands. I was like, and he he's like not stopped too. He's still doing different work. So
that is an eclectic,
He is in 2 drummer Hall of Fames.
Fuck, dude. That dude's sick.
Yeah.
But he was pretty much the only one who's like a good takeaway from that, besides the lead singer from that band that eventually like came out as transgender, but still didn't really have a career. But
yeah, he has a sweet Fu Manchu. Like, that dude fucks. You can just tell. Any case, that's how I just judge people by their facial hair.
Also, good chance he's Italian because his name is Carmine Appice.
Appice. Yeah, that sounds really, really Italian.
I mean, which nobody outside of Italian people name their kid Carmine. So
yeah. Yeah, you sound like a third tier bad guy in the Godfather franchise. Villain. Yeah.
Or Batman.
Or fucking Dick Tracy or something.
Yeah.
So this band is coming to town. They're called Black Roses. Apparently, they are one of the most popular bands in the world, but they have never toured before. They decide that they are going to, which is always how it works. They had a studio album already. They're world famous. They're later, you learn, selling out Madison Square Garden. They've never toured before,
right?
Which is again, that's just how it works for anybody who's in the know as far as music is concerned. But they are this like loosely satanic themed metal band, but not really. Their music is fucking pretty mild, and
their skull even is pretty mild. You know?
Yeah. It looks like something I would have doodled on my like notebook when I was in 7th grade. They don't.
It's a Hello Kitty skull, basically.
Yeah. Despite the fact that the drummer in real life fucks, this band does not fuck.
No. Like the lead singer is such a wimpy looking like pretty boy Like he does.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this weird cock rock type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not metal really at all.
They would open for Motley Crue maybe.
Yes.
Before being bullied by Motley Crue.
Or they would open for a Motley Crue cover band.
Yeah.
Like at Rockin' on the River in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Like they would play. Yeah.
Yeah, they play Moraine State Park or Big Butler County Fair.
Yeah.
For sure.
They would get teased at Fayette County Fair, though, but they might be able to get away with Butler County Fair.
Oh, my God.
These are some local references.
For those of you, the 4 people out there listening who have been to both the Butler and Fayette County Fairs. But yeah, like I said, the whole kind of weird disconnect here is the severity of like people's reactions to things, and even the kids who are ultimately taken over by this satanic band and kind of used to do their bidding a little bit. Like they go from, you listen to this real lame fucking music and they're like scared of it, and then they just start doing like not particularly bad things around town. Like they're just like making out on the hood of a car, and then all of a sudden they just start like shooting their parents in the face. Like
Right.
it just goes from like, it doesn't just go from 0 to 60. It goes from 0 to 60, then back to 0, then back to 60. It's just back and forth. Like it's just an on-off switch.
Yeah. It's like once they start doing the murders, they're all in.
Yeah.
But before that, it's just like really weird acts of rebellion.
Yeah.
Of like,
Or what
I'm
they
gonna
think rebellion would actually be like. But it's,
We'll get into a great example of it here, and it's in a goddamn sec. But I like right off the bat where the mom is like, "Oh, Black Roses, what the hell's that?" And they're like, "It's a band." They're like, "Oh, real nice." And I'm like, it's not like they're called like Satan fuckers. They're called Black Roses. Like it's not. It's that's not a particularly ominous band name at all.
Like, yeah, we're in 88. That's the founding year of Cannibal Corpse.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Napalm Death is around this time too. And then like before that, just the band Death.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like the emergence of death metal. But before that, everything is this kind of cock rock, with the exception of Ozzy and Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
everybody else is just kind of a cock rock, has the big feathered hair. Yeah. Nobody's that intimidating.
No, these guys are not even a little bit. They're
some
not
of them
scared.
Some of them are even Christian, because I think like Winger and Tough Enough. Like both of those were Christian.
Yeah, that's not satanic at all.
Yeah,
you guys are anti-Satan. But yeah, so the and then to make it even less intimidating, their poster isn't like some like graphic, even like an Iron Maiden type of ghoulish thing on the cover. No, it's just this fucking dude's headshot is literally the poster.
Yeah,
it's not scary. It's not like. If I listened to this band when I was little and my parents saw like that poster on my wall, they'd be like, "What kind of shitty, lame ass band are you listening to?" Like they would make fun of me for listening to lame band. Like these guys make like Sugar Ray seem kind of like hard edge. They're not fucking cool or badass at all.
Yeah, like my dad would turn it off and make me listen to Injustice for All.
Yeah, it's
like,
fucking
listen to Metallica. Shut up.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking dork. Anyway, you start to learn some of the people around town, and this is this very like moral majority kind of satanic panic era, small Midwestern town type of thing. Of course, it's Canadian as fuck, but that's kind of the feel of it. But you do start to see there's like a little bit of an underbelly of things going on, like specifically, is it Julie's stepdad, who is a weird perv?
Yeah, he's an alcoholic. He's like, first time you see him, he's like drinking a beer and he's like touching her face and getting real
he's being
crazy.
a real fucking creep. So you start to see these little skeezy things under the surface. But then
I want to talk about this thread and like we can get into it later. But there is a really weird thread in this movie about comparing Julie's stepdad to the teacher that she also has a crush on.
Yeah.
And they both look the same because they're both, I think they're only two guys with like those Tom Selleck mustaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's some other weird things that happen in this movie that just like, what are they trying to say about Julie and her relationship with her stepdad as it relates to this teacher?
But the funny thing, yeah, that's a great question. And also like the fact that they treat the teacher like he's awesome, even so much so as when he's on the screen, they play like this like Here Comes the Cavalry type of music where it's like, yeah, it's really creepy. It's like, oh, your stepdad beats you and maybe is potentially a pedophile and an alcoholic. Well, don't worry. Here's another middle-aged man that's way better suited for you, child. Like, it's very creepy.
And I feel like they talk about her relationship with the teacher as if it's like actually something that's going on, like that. It got real awkward.
Yeah, because the other character you're introduced to is Johnny, and Johnny has a crush on her, and Johnny is also 35, but he's apparently in high school.
yeah.
But like, it's like the third scene or whatever. They're leaving class. And Johnny is like waiting for Julie, but Julie is like engaged with the teacher, and I think it's Tina that is like, making fun of Johnny, and she's like basically saying, I think she's already taken Johnny.
Like they act like it's cute that like she has a crush on the teacher and the teacher is grooming her. Like they act like that is a cute, endearing thing.
Is he grooming her though? Like he seems pretty resistant all throughout.
Yes, but then he doesn't react to her. I'm not saying that she's not being kind of like potentially sexually aggressive at times. Obviously, she's a demon at one point and is very much so. But he's not doing the things you should do if a high school student, as a teacher, a misguided high school student comes on to you. There is a very specific set of things that you need to do. And one of them is like, we need to go to the principal's office and iron out that this is not cool and we should probably have a conversation with your parents. Like, he's just like, Julie, I care about you. You're just too young to fuck. Like, that's kind of what he's saying.
He does get like boyishly flustered at one point where like he's at the venue.
Yeah.
And he's trying to leave the venue but she's showing up to watch the Black Roses.
Right.
And he's like, well, what are you doing out of school? And she's like, I could say the same thing. And then he gets like boyishly flustered.
Yeah.
I was like,
there is a romantic thread there that is very disconcerting. And also the fact that this whole thing, like a lot of the theme of this is that like she's like this jailbait kind of thing who's tempting him. Like that's how it's written in the script. And it's almost like this weird, like, I don't know, it's too dramatic, but like victim blaming type of thing where it's like, oh, you're a high school student flirting with a teacher. Now it's your fault. Whatever happens is your fault.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's very uncomfortable.
I don't know if it's victim blaming because she does become a demon.
Well, but
at that point, I think it's more like a cautionary tale for teachers.
Cautionary tale. That kid that is flirting with you in class might be a demon. That's it. Yeah.
It's worse morals. It's like it'll.
This actually is just a PSA for that and basically the Satanic Panic.
Yeah, or even on a slightly darker note, it's like, don't have sex with your students because it'll come back to bite you. Not that it's wrong or illegal. It's just like, it doesn't work out good if you have sex with your students.
Yeah,
like that.
Don't let them get too close.
But I mean, even just talking about the romantic entanglements, like Johnny having a crush on her, I feel like, and maybe it was pretty normal for movies to do it. It's like Johnny's kind of assuming like, why would you be with an unavailable person when you can be with me? You should just be with me. And it's just like the way they talk is so awkward.
Johnny does a lot of chewing the scenery on lamp posts.
Yeah.
He's always like hanging on a lamp post.
I had the note of he so desperately wants to break into musical theater.
I know, that's what I was saying. Like at any moment.
And even the like the background music, which is almost always inappropriate, is like supporting it because like it gets these swells, like he's about to break into song.
Yeah,
it's like he's like, I'm gonna leave this town, and I'm gonna. What the fuck is about to happen?
You're ready for it at any moment. Yeah. The music, sound design, Foley work, everything in the audio arena, even the microphones really suck. Like the at times, it's just whoever who's in charge of sound in this movie really screwed the pooch. But okay, let's get back into it. So the teacher, we need to get back into the main plot of the movie here, which is where the fuck do you get a white turtleneck? The teacher is wearing a white turtleneck with like a hooded cardigan over it, and it's like a bold choice. And then it got me thinking, aside from like a competitive cheerleading catalog, where do you get a white turtleneck like that? Like, did he go to Sears and get that, or like where do you get something like that? I guess maybe in 1988. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but the whole thing here is like, he's the cool teacher.
Right.
He raps real with the kids. He even swears in class sometimes. You know, like you at any moment you expect him to turn a chair around, sit backwards on it. You know.
Yep.
But yeah, so the band comes into town. They're like, hey, we're gonna play 4 consecutive nights of shows in this small town, and their excuse is like, hey, we're kicking off our world tour. We need to like iron the kinks out a little bit on our act before we go out on tour, so we've chosen this tiny town to do it in. The parents and teachers and everybody are all up in arms about it. The kids are, you know, all pissed off because they want them to cancel the shows. Ultimately, the whole like PTO, mayor, everyone goes to the show, and they basically do a bait and switch situation where he comes out wearing all white and everything, which was the creepiest. If I walked into my kids like listening to like full on death metal versus walking into my kids listening to that song they played at the beginning with that white outfit, I'm 1,000 times more concerned about the latter.
Right.
It was like, oh, they're not singing about Satan. They're just doing a regular old normal cult.
Yeah.
Like that's what it felt
well,
like
like
to me.
that's like that part didn't totally make sense why they didn't like it didn't make sense that they didn't catch on, because at that like town hall meeting and all they were talking about is they're actually like talking about the lyrics.
Yeah, like quoting the lyrics.
Yeah, and then they go to the show and they're like, "Oh, this is like a nice sweet song. Let's get out of here, guys."
This is a song about my hometown. It
like
reminded me of.
Didn't make sense.
Have either of you ever seen? This is a highly underrated film. National Lampoon's Senior Trip.
No.
From like the late 90s. Okay, I'm not going to pull the reference then. But there is a band that plays in it that's like a drug. It's like a band they have to come play at their school to basically tell them to stay off drugs. And it just reminded me of that band.
Okay.
Also, go watch that movie. It is... There's actually a lot of good people in it. It's really funny. It's really stupid. It's wildly inappropriate and does not age well, but it's a blast.
It's okay. Neither did this movie. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So I just wrote at this point, I don't even know where I got this from. I just wrote, Johnny is not cool.
Just anything Johnny's doing.
Yeah, we can all agree Johnny is not cool at all.
He's fucking 35, bad hairline, looking like Will Forte and hanging out in high school.
Will Forte, receding hairline, having ass motherfucker. Yeah, Johnny's not cool. He sucks. Yeah, he's just doing lame stuff all the time. Like, he's supposed to be kind of threatening, but he's not at all. Yeah, I was, this is what I wrote, whenever the guy comes on screen, the teacher, whose name is Matthew, right? Who's, grooming Julie. He comes on screen and they play this like music that sounds like it's from Homeward Bound. Like, it's this like epic, like adventure kind of thing. Like, we're setting out on an adventure type of like backing track when he's on screen.
It's like they went into a music library and they said, Matthew is the hero of our film, so let's look up hero tracks.
Yes, yeah,
and then but all hero tracks are like from, like you're saying, action films.
Yeah, or like a fucking John Wayne movie or something like that. Yeah. It's really bad and off-putting.
It doesn't work, and it's weird because he's such a Like, he's an English teacher. He's talking about Wordsworth and shit. Like, who gives a fuck? Like,
wearing a turtleneck. Like, fuck this. They act like he's a hero. Until the last 5 minutes of the movie, he doesn't do anything.
Right.
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't save anybody. He's not a hero in any way. He's just a guy with a mustache that's creeping on high school girls. Like, he's not cool at all.
He decks a high school girl.
Yeah, we'll get that. He fucking cups her ear. We'll get to that.
He gives her the Mean Joe Green ear cup. And then
Oh God.
But speaking of him creeping, like the scene we were just talking about with Johnny and Julie, and then Johnny at some point makes the decision. He's like, "I'm gonna paint the town red," literally. I was just cracking up on that. I thought it was so dumb.
Yeah, he was
It's
like,
so funny.
"Oh, this is when he's like, oh, we're gonna rebel," and he's the one who's like one of the first ones that's starting to get affected by the band and starting to turn bad, and he's like, I just want to get out of this town. Like, he just, like I said, you just think at any moment he's going to burst into song. But then he's like, I want to paint the town red. Literally. And he goes and gets a can of red paint. And then we never really know exactly what he's going to do. We assume he's going to paint on the street.
He did. He there was a couple lines. Well, no, when that scene was leading up to it and he said that, I was like, please don't literally do this. Please do not go get paint. And he fucking ran back out.
Please don't literally paint the town red. Oh, yeah. It was so dumb because, okay, so they opens the can of paint in the middle of the street. You never see him paint anything. You do come back and see that, like you said, he painted like a line on the road that was red, probably 18 inches long. Yeah. Like, not anything. You honestly would, yeah, exactly. No one's going to even notice that, let alone care. And then the teacher, the poetry teacher, starts walking down the street. They see him and they're like, oh shit, run, he's gonna see that we opened a can of paint. Not a police officer, no. Run. Oh, Jesus Christ. The poetry teacher is going to see that we opened a can of paint.
And I will say, in that scene, Julie is a piece of shit because as they're running away, you hear Julie yelling, Johnny, wait up. Don't use my name. Shut the fuck up.
You fucking doxed me out here? Fuck you, Julie. Julie, you fucking narc.
Dumbass Julie.
Here's another example of like how things like this movie up until this point, with the exception of the demons in the first scene, this movie could be on a fucking Disney Channel. Like there's nothing at all happening, nothing scary, nothing really foul mouth, anything like that. It could be a fucking very special episode of Boy Meets World, and then all of a sudden the kid just makes the blowjob motion. Did you see that? When
very aggressively.
When talking about them there, it's like he does it for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually you just do a couple pumps if you're like, like you did like 10.
Yeah.
He was taking it to completion.
He really was. Oh, good God. Yeah, it's just one of those things where like things just the tone is all over the place in this movie. So they are acting like so the teacher knows it was Johnny and Julie out there. They are acting like Johnny committed armed robbery. Like they are acting like it's something horrible, like he's really done something serious and like he's going to get sent to jail for the rest of his life. He just opened a can of paint in the street and maybe spilled some of it. Like, it's so strange. It's such weird writing. It doesn't make any damn sense.
It like it's the kind of thing that like children, if you're like a fourth grader, maybe you'd react like that.
Yeah.
Because it was like the first bad thing you ever did.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I honest to God did way worse things than this on a regular basis when I was like 8. This is like, and it's not like I was some sort of like insane, juvenile delinquent. This is just like how mild the things that they do are in the first, and then just in the first part of the movie.
I will say though, and again, this just shows like what a turd Johnny is, but like for no reason, there's that parking lot brawl
Oh yeah, this is good.
And then fucking dude gorilla press slams like the ultimate warrior.
That's what I said. I said, is that Vader's kid? What did he fucking press slammed a dude in a street fight?
He press slammed a dude in a street fight. He throws him over top of girls. Like he just tosses
like shakes him and throws him.
Yeah. The girls are standing there and they're just like, oh, here comes a dude. What the hell?
Well, and also like that kid was like, he I'll be honest, that kid did not look like he could press slam somebody, but he did.
Yeah.
But then,
he's strong.
Yeah, he's strong. But then he also, the other thing that I loved about that was the kid who was being press slammed was so obviously trying to balance.
Yeah.
While he had him up.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was not.
He was half boogie boarding.
He was not selling that press slam well. But yeah, I wrote that the teacher and the lead singer of the band, Damien, they have a tremendous amount of sexual tension.
A little bit.
Yeah, like alarming amount. You really thought that they were going to fuck at some point. But yeah, as soon as the parents leave after the really creepy, I just wrote My Hometown, which was the band they were singing when the parents were there. I just have My Hometown Does Not Fuck. That was my note. But as soon as the parents leave, then they just move into like slightly edgier slightly edgier music, and they like change into bondage garb. That's pretty much the only difference. But not still pretty like lame ass music, like soft boy fucking metal for sure. But yeah, even the like I was thinking, even if the parents saw the quote unquote edgy performance in the first show, I don't think they would have had an issue with it. No, they'd just been like, oh, okay, well, these guys aren't that bad.
Yeah, they're like. They're really concerned about people like Ozzy and Judas Priest coming through. Yeah. They don't like, this is like, whatever. It's just those kind of knobs.
Yeah.
Like
that is actually what it is. It seems like a rural Canadian Judas Priest.
Yeah. That was my note, is that he pretty much looked like he looked at a picture of Judas Priest, was like, this is what we all have to look like. This is what everyone's scared of.
Yeah, they could never see them live because they're in like way too far out in fucking middle of nowhere Canada. But they do like occasionally get like several month old like metal like magazines that they buy at like 7-Eleven, and then they just like try to dress like them.
That's so funny.
Oh wow, they got a lot of leather, don't they?
Oh, hey, well, it looks like we got to step up our leather game, eh?
Oh, look at that one. He's got a chain.
But it's actually just moose leather. So
right,
moose leather. That's the kind of leather they got up there.
We call it leather.
I can't help it. All I can think of is, fuck you, Jonesy. Fuck you, Shorzy. All right. So yeah, first press slam I've ever seen in a street fight. That's pretty impressive. The guys, did you guys catch the smile? I don't even remember the context, but the main dude's smile, like when he comes on stage one time, is so fucking creepy. Like that was honestly the scariest part of the movie. There's nothing scary about it, but the guy's smile.
I don't know if I caught it there when Matthew was going to meet Damien and then Julie walked in, like that interaction when he kept looking back to.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay,
yes.
cool. Okay, yeah, I was like, yeah.
When she says, well, I could say the same, you should be in class. Well, I should say the same to you. And then he kind of awkward and walks out. Then they turn back to Damien and his smile is so intense. Yeah. Also, at that point, I was like, wait, is that Damien or is that like their tour manager or something? Because he didn't seem to have the same hair.
He doesn't. He has short hair in that scene. And I think it's just like another way for him to sell the clean image. Because he has his shirt tucked into his pants.
Yeah.
And then has like this short hair. And then I guess this comes into play later because then he just reveals that he's bald because he's a monster.
That's the big reveal.
Yeah.
He's bald.
But yeah, there's definite sexual energy in this scene too.
Yeah.
Because the whole time him and Matthew are interacting, Matthew is drinking a big glass of milk. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And he's just
but
like
so weird.
a big water glass of milk.
Yeah.
And Damien's
hell?
just eye fucking him, and he's just like blushing and just like, ooh. It's just like, I really thought they were gonna fuck.
I'm surprised they didn't, but
I
like,
mean, that would have made the way more interesting film if it turns into like some demonic sex orgy with the teacher and the band. And it's like, come on, that would have made for a way more interesting movie. Yeah, I love the first line of the one song is like, "Leave me alone." I just thought that was like the angstiest,
So tough,
shittiest line. Yeah. This is the scene we get into where the one, tough guy kid in school, he's at home, and you get to see his tough guy dad, which again is played by Big Pussy from The Sopranos. And he's just so stereotypically Italian.
Yeah.
He's got, literally so much so he's got like the white tank, the undershirt tank.
yeah, it's just a dirty white undershirt.
Yeah.
And then he just walks in. His hair is fucking slicked back.
Yeah.
And like to a perfect, black hair helmet.
Yeah.
And the first line out of his mouth is, "Hey, Stu Nod, go help your mother."
Yeah. And he just says a bunch of Italian things, drops a homophobic slur, then just gets murdered by a hand puppet. I don't know. Right after
I
that.
kind of I don't know. That might have been one of my favorite scenes in this movie. I don't know why. I was like, oh, this record player
it
coming
was
to
very
life.
fun. It was a fun scene.
And I felt like the demon there was actually one of the better ones in the movie too.
Yeah.
I felt like it was creepy, and like I like the concept of it. I feel like it would be a really cool art piece, like someone just sculpture that want it.
If you read it in a book, it would be 100 times scarier.
Sure.
Because the whole setup is like the Italian son is listening to the Black Roses on vinyl.
Yeah.
And then Italian father tries to shut it off, but it keeps coming back on and off, and that's creepy. And then the vinyl starts bubbling and oozing.
Yeah.
And then a monster comes out of the speakers. That's, that could be real, but the way it's realized is just this weird puppet jumps out and he goes, "Hey, yo!"
Hey, yo! What the fuck? Yeah, but he does. At first, it goes back and forth between what is essentially a hand puppet and and this graboid type of puppet that doesn't really move. So it's shot really poorly. It could have looked okay, but instead, and the dad is not selling it at all. He is no selling this whole fucking scene. Right. At one point, the demon, pan puppet is right in his face, and he's just mouth closed, kind of giving it the side eye. You're just no selling it hard. But eventually it does suck him into the speaker on the wall that has now become demonic itself. There are weird tentacly things on the speaker as well. Yeah. And anyway, it just ingests him.
Again, it would look better. And the other thing is this scene is happening during the day, so they're not trying to hide anything. Mm-hmm. You know, it's too well lit.
Yeah.
Because you can see everything wrong.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the speaker burps after it consumes him. It belches, which is just, they were really taking their own legs out on these. You know what I mean? I don't know if they added that stuff in later because they were like, well, let's make this silly. I don't know. I really don't know. The tone is, again, all over the place.
Yeah. It's was it one of those things where they were maybe trying to shoot for a PG-13 movie, but then they realized how many boobs and other things they had in it?
Mm-hmm. But I think
fuck.
They probably could have gone away with it if they would have just taken out that scene, because that scene, even later on, we'll get to it with Julie, and I was just what is, my note was why? Why?
Mm-hmm.
She finally realized she had boobs. Exactly.
Well, and the one where she's in the mirror, she's just it's like she noticed them for the first time,
right?
Because you just stand there and watch her rub her boobs for 3 minutes. It's in there, and at that point, I was like, okay, so this is a boob double because you don't see her face,
right?
But then 5 seconds later, she comes out and takes her top off as well, and I'm just like, so did they insert that other scene later because they were like, well, let's go harder on the boobs.
Yeah, it is so confusing.
Maybe they had a little bit of money left in their budget, and that's like the last 5,000 was for the boob shot.
Maybe, could be. That
might be it. Yeah, that could be it. They had to negotiate
that
all the way to the end.
That is the going rate. Yeah. But yeah, the Foley work on this one is like there's a lot of like weird ass squishy Foley work in this thing.
Yeah, it's so cartoony.
Yeah.
Like I have to wonder. So I don't think we mentioned it yet, but like this movie was distributed by Troma.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Troma would do that in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if like they did finishing on the film as well.
Yeah.
Like they got a hold of a print, and then as we were saying, like all the other audio is fucking trash anyway, because like it's hard to hear dialogue sometimes, and so I'm just wondering if like it's possible like they got the film and felt it was unfinished, and Lloyd Kaufman is like, put in a burp sound, that would be great.
Yeah.
I have a terrible Lloyd Kaufman impression, but
that was spot on.
Yeah.
I couldn't
exactly
tell.
what it sounds right.
If I wasn't looking at you, I would have sworn.
You just needed to sound a little bit more whiny about things.
Yeah.
No, that actually makes a ton of sense now that you think about it. Like they got the rights to this movie. They were like, this is up our alley enough. But the audio quality sucks. We can really drive we can get this for a song because they fucked up in so many areas. So let's take it. We'll distribute it. We'll Troma it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then we'll distribute it.
Maybe that might explain the fucking boob scene where you don't see Julie's face.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another scene Troma added in.
Yeah.
Like, we need more boobs in this.
Yeah. And they were like, well, she's not going to do it. I mean, they shot this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we'll get a boob double. Yeah.
We already paid her for her boobs. We can't pay her again for boobs. All right, we'll get some cheaper boobs.
Well, you know what? And that makes a lot of sense because they were definitely two different sets of boobs. They were not that. The one in the mirror, that's why I was confused as I was like, was that supposed to be Julie? But then you show her and I'm like, oh, okay, she must have, not wanted to show her boobs on screen. So,
Right.
But then she does in the next scene. I'm like, listen, I'm no doctor, but those were two different sets of boobs.
They were definitely two different boobs.
Yeah. I wrote for Demons, this band, they sure do say woo a lot. I wouldn't have imagined Demons to woo as much. And then like during one of the performances, they just start turning certain kids into like emaciated skeletons.
Yeah.
Just with like his sexy eyes. I'm not sure.
It didn't make sense. And it's like, what happens to those kids?
Right.
Like, do they turn back? Or like,
because we didn't
nobody
see them
else...
again. Like, we didn't see them anywhere else. Yeah.
But then there were like, again, rubber mask like ghouls holding the teacher when he busted in later and was like, were they supposed to be the same ones? Was he just, I don't know. But
Speaking of that performance too, did you guys catch the one lyric? This was my favorite, and it was let blood sing. I was
Let blood sing.
Yeah. I was
that
like,
might be
cool.
the toughest one they have.
Yeah, that sounds like a line from a Disney Pixar animated film about vampires. When things really start to go to shit in the town and all the youths start wearing the black and listen to the Satan music, as he's driving around town and he's observing all the street violence that's happening, it's so lame. Like there's just like not anything really scary happening. They're just like two guys like wrestling around and then like people kissing on a car. Like it's nothing really that concerning that if I saw, I wouldn't be like, wow, that shit's really crazy here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
It's so hard for us too because we're just coming off the sadness.
That's true.
Not 2 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there is so much carnage, like legitimate carnage in the streets of like violence and rape and destruction.
Yeah.
And then we have, just like some muscleheads wrestling.
It's basically
It's
the
more
whole
like
town.
Wrestling.
The whole town turned into that place where like the bad kids hang out in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where they could give him cigarettes and let him skateboard.
Where's Sam Rockwell?
Yeah, Sam
You got some ciggies?
Sam Rockwell gives you a carton of cigarettes. Like, smoke up, Johnny. Did you bring your skateboard? Yeah, like this place rules.
Yeah.
I still, to this day, I'm 36 years old. I'm still looking for that place. Really,
Right?
That's really the one place I'm like, I just want to skateboard, play video games, smoke cigarettes,
Yeah.
eat junk food. I did like one all of a sudden, which you really don't get much from her. She's the kind of the pseudo romantic lead in the movie, which she is teacher Matt's girlfriend, who is also the daughter of the mayor, who
Priscilla.
apparently lives at home, but she's 40. Like, like she like lives in the house with her dad and like answers the door like she's a child. I don't know. It was very strange. But she says something about he's a teacher, right? Respected. I mean, not, obviously teachers are oftentimes treated like shit in this country, but like it's a very well established, respected profession otherwise. And she's like, you're teaching a bunch of inbred morons the alphabet.
Yeah.
It's like, I really liked that line. It cracked me up. It was just so harsh and over the top. It's like, it's not like he's, has, a master's degree and he's, picking up cans on the side of the street because he doesn't want a real job. Like, he is literally, he's a teacher at the local high school. Like, that's fine. That's great.
He's not even, it's not even like he's wasting his potential.
Yeah.
Because he's a poetry teacher.
Yeah.
He's not like a physicist who's teaching kids fucking calculus.
Yeah. He's not Walter White. You know? Yeah.
He's a poetry teacher teaching poetry. That's just what
That's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's probably got an English degree. He teaches poetry. It all checks out.
That's what plenty of people do while they're writing.
Yeah.
They just have the side job that's easy to do.
Yeah.
So they can have time to write.
And she's like, you stupid piece of shit teacher. Like, it's just like, seems really all out of there. And then after that, like, they have this big argument where, effectively, they break up kind of thing. And she's like, it's like, she's like, well, get at it. And he's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going home. Or maybe I'm going to the bar.
Yeah, big threat.
Yeah, big threat. Like
that's so funny.
I don't understand what that meant. Did that mean I'm gonna go try to hook up with somebody, or did that mean just like I might drink alcohol?
Right.
I'm not sure what that even meant. It's such a weird fucking line.
Oh my god!
That threat is only effective if he's a established alcoholic.
Yes,
right.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like, did they cut that part out? Because there are things earlier about when the mayor's like, let's go get a drink or whatever. Because I was like, oh, does he have some alcohol issues or whatever? No, it's never established.
Right.
And instead of even if she could have, if that was a thing, go after him for that. Instead of calling his students idiot degens here,
Yeah.
it could have been oh, just go have another drink with your kids or something.
Yeah.
Have another drink with your slut student.
He does have a picture of her in his house. That's not good.
Yeah.
Did you see that? That's
yep,
not
I
good.
did.
Don't
With
do
Johnny and someone else.
Yeah, it's like him hanging out with his students in a framed picture on his wall. That's a red flag. I do now, next scene, Johnny comes home from the concert and he's fucking pumped up. He's just again, he's flash dancing in the hall, and then he just goes into his room, shuts the lights off, gets in bed, and then he smokes, and it's and I wrote, the demons made Johnny smoke. And then
he's smoking indoors in bed,
and then a woman comes in and I think fucks him.
Yes.
What? Who was she?
But it was like a ghost because you never see her face.
Julie. I almost thought it was Julie.
Yeah,
I think you're supposed to think it is.
Really?
But you never see her face, and these boobs are also different from Julie's boobs. So these boobs are actually pretty big.
Steve is he's whatever that is when you're an expert at telling fingerprints apart. Steve's like that, but with boobs.
The boobs.
But yeah, the areola diameter was way different. But the other,
her hair is also super teased out front.
Yeah.
But
yeah. That's
but
true. But I do
the
like
boobs were bigger.
dancing coming out. The boobs were bigger in that one.
Yeah.
That scene. I like that scene better on account of how the boobs were bigger.
That's how you know. But she was like some sort of ghost demon.
Yeah. So I thought she was going to come in through the window, sneak. Ooh, bad boy, smoking. Let's fuck. And then I'm going to bite your head off. Like, I thought that was something like that was going to happen. But no. Johnny just went to a concert, came home, smoked a cig, fucked. Like, Johnny had a sick night. And it was like, I thought he was going to die or something, but no.
Nope. No, instead he shoots his dad in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then, so first of all, the scene with the kid throwing the toys in the fire, what the fuck did that mean?
He was listening to the Black Roses as well, and that turned him bad.
Is that why he was burning Superman and Batman and not the bad
he's
guys?
saying they're the bad guys.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, so
Batman
stupid.
had to go to hell by way of Scareglow.
It was so stupid. Yeah, so now it's like, again, smoking cigarettes, having sex, goes straight to backs over his mom for yelling at him, but in the most cartoonish way possible. Like, the idea, if I said to you, okay, this kid, he's getting taken over by a demonic band. He gets home, his mom yells at him, and then he runs her over with the car. You're like, oh, that's pretty brutal. No. It was Wile E. Coyote shit. Like, he hits her, she launches 20 feet backwards and lands on the ground. She might as well have had little fucking birds and tweeting around her head and her tongue sticking out. It was just, there was no blood. It was just stupid scene. And then Tina fucks Janie's dad.
Yeah.
Who's,
oh, God.
who is now, at this point, I thought to myself, well, this guy's the worst actor in the world. But then later there's a worse actor, but he is really terrifically bad. Yeah. So
he's trying to play off because the setup is that Tina has to stay at the house because she can't get into her own.
Right.
And then she coerces him, I guess, into playing strip gin.
Yeah, after Tina goes to bed, she's like, no, let's hang out and play gin more. Do you know strip gin?
Yeah.
And again, they like make him kind of almost like it's cute and cartoony.
Right.
But it's like, no, he's like, yeah, let's play strip gin, high school girl. Like,
It's like, of course I know what it is.
He's like sweaty and pensive, but also just still goes along with it.
Yeah. It's so fucking dumb. And then eventually she is in like lingerie, takes her top off, starts like making out with him, and then I guess he dies of horniness.
Yeah. I think he died of a heart attack. Like,
she's like licking his ear or something topless, and he's just like dead.
You didn't hear the whole death by lap dance?
Yeah, he literally he just died from being too horny.
He died and probably came at the same time. Like,
yeah, which I guess is better than what Johnny's dad gets, because he just gets flat out shot in the face.
Yeah, he just gets shot in the face with a revolver, and that sucks.
Yeah, Johnny just comes in
not cool
after fucking a demon or whatever, just walks in with a 38 special and says, "Dad, I love you," and blasts him in the face. I was like, whoa, that just got way darker than anything else in this movie.
Yeah,
I think that's the one thing that set this movie to an R.
Yeah.
And they couldn't cut it out because of how tied it was to a main character.
Right.
But at the same time, they couldn't do anything else with
because
like
up until this point, all Johnny did was smoke and spill some paint.
Right. and then goes right to patricide.
And then he goes straight to, "I love you, Dad. Spray the wall with your brains." Like, it's just over the fucking top, 0 to 60.
Which was also wild because he's been such a ninny the entire time leading up to this.
Such a good insult. Ninny.
But because he's been that, and like you just thought like, oh, he's the main character, and so he'll probably have some effect on the ending. And in that, like, he'll save Julie and win her heart or something.
Yeah.
Or, if you're writing like just like a boring normal script, which this isn't, obviously.
Yeah.
But like Yeah, it just makes that hard left down to I'm gonna kill my dad.
Unprovoked. He's just watching. And actually he's been the only dad that's been kind of cool the whole time. He's just like, all right, it's probably fine. Go to the show. I'm just gonna read the paper. I'm gonna go read the paper
and watching sports like all the time.
Yeah.
Did you catch though when Johnny was like talking about his dad? He's like, "Oh yeah, my mom left my dad because he couldn't amount to whatever."
Yeah, because he was scared to be something or something.
I know. It was just so awkward too. That was probably the only. He's kind of mean to his dad.
Yeah. So it's a lineage of ninnies. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. You are descendant of a ninny, and you are now in fact a ninny.
I wonder what that family shield would look like.
Yeah. But the kids now are now again 0 to 60. They're now a chanting murderous cult like overnight. The first show just kind of got him psyched up. The second show made him a little bit horny, little rambunctious. Now they're a murderous cult. Like the third show is really where they close the deal. And then the last show, which we get to here in a few minutes, is they're just like they're not even playing music. They're just worshiping Damien. But the teacher. This quote I had to write down. He calls the mayor. And is basically saying, at this point, he's the teacher. The teacher is the only person who thinks anything bad's going on with the band and all that. He calls the mayor, and the mayor's like, no, you're overreacting. He's like, what's going on? He's like, bad kids, bad music, bad news. That's a really forced line. It's like he doesn't talk like that the whole rest of the movie.
Right.
Yeah. But he's the only one who knows that the music makes the kids evil or whatever at this point. And then Janie goes into the principal's office and is just like emotionless after her dad died of horniness the night before. And then she does this little like quick demon face and then yeets the principal out the window. Which is a pretty good scene.
And dumps him into the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah, he lands in the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah.
And her line is what? Like, oh, that's a great scream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which it wasn't either.
Yeah. He's just like, ah. Like, yeah. Well, the whole thing was that she said, I want to scream out a window. And he's like, okay, well, I'll open the window. You can scream out, get your feelings out. But then, she just yeets him. So the teacher... Again, he's done nothing. He's accomplished nothing. He's saved no one. He's completely ineffective. But again, they give him the hero music as he runs into the library to do some research on, like, I assume demons? I don't know. But all he does is fall asleep till 10 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those things where, like, someone goes, like, the nerdy kid goes and reads up on, whatever's happening in the town. And then, it's this old trope. But instead, he goes to he's there when it's light out. He goes, reads a book for a little while, falls asleep on the desk. That's why I feel like there was an alcoholism through line here or something that got lost. I don't know. What other explanation for falling asleep until, not for an hour, not until morning, until 10 a.m. he wakes up.
Right. I have no idea.
And he makes it a point to go, shit, it's 10 a.m. Like, what? You could have just been 7 a.m. It could have been, why 10 a.m.? Why would you say he slept that long? It just seems so ridiculous, so ludicrous.
Yeah, and there's nothing to establish beforehand, like when he falls asleep.
Right.
Because for all you know, he just falls asleep at like 8.
Yeah.
It's just like, he like gets like 16, he gets 16 hours of sleep.
Boy, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep on a book for 16 hours.
Yeah. His hard life of nothing.
Of talking about poetry he's read 1,000 times, wearing fucking turtlenecks.
Don't forget his really cool Halloween sweater.
He did have a cool. He had a couple of cool. He did have a couple of interesting outfits. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted his wardrobe, but at this point, Julie is starting to get wacky, right? And, again, the grooming kind of thing continues, but Julie's been kind of the holdout, and now she's going kind of buck wild and doing weird stuff now, too. And now, like I said, this concert is now just a full-on black mass at this point. And
so Well, before that, just
Yeah.
because there's one thing we're kind of skipping over, but we touched it a little bit. So you're saying Julie's going buck wild, and this is where she's like doing the "I'm going to rub my tits in the mirror" scene.
Yeah.
And then it's before she goes to this final concert. She comes out to the living room. Her dad, her very Italian dad.
Oh, this hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
And then she comes out and she starts rubbing her stepfather's shoulders and like getting him horned up, and then kills him with some random piece of shitty pottery.
Yeah, was it an ashtray or something? She just bludgeons him.
Yeah.
Pretty sure my roommate has like almost the exact same one.
Covered
Literally.
in blood. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is where they continue that weird thread of comparing the stepfather to the teacher.
Yeah.
Because there is a very strong editing mark of when the father is killed, he's lying in a pool of blood, and then it hard cuts to the teacher in the exact same position asleep on the book.
Oh, yeah.
It's the exact same position in framing. And it's just like, it's so fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Because they're basically insinuating like obviously that the stepfather has been abusing Julie, but then she's like, for some reason, like misplacing her behavior or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
onto the teacher.
It could also be, if they're like bringing those two things that close, is just that she clearly doesn't have a good father figure. So maybe she looks at the teacher as kind of like a father figure, and maybe it's I mean, it comes off like this weird, awkward, romantic thing, but maybe it's just as simple as like, that's just a replacement dad that she, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, and he even says that later. He's like, "You're like, I'm like a father to you," or whatever, when she's like all demonic and coming on to her or whatever. But it was, the fact that there was so much inappropriate interactions between the two of them, and they acted like it was not a big deal, I think is the thing that like framed everything up in a very different light 25 years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's just one of those things that it's like, because the rest of the script is so weird and like, you know, like doesn't have these themes, but then there's just this one weird B plot, and then like the editing of the film is so tied close together, and the looks of the stepfather and the teacher are so tied close together.
Yeah.
And it's like, were you trying to write something like smart into
there was some
this?
subtext that you were trying to float that never really landed. Yeah.
You're trying to float something in your monster puppet metal movie?
Yeah, it might have been. And also, I did notice this. The script was written by a woman.
That's
It was
interesting.
Cindy something, which I didn't recognize her name, but I was surprised to see that. So yeah, maybe there is a little bit more to it. And Lloyd Kaufman just fucking
Horned it up.
choked any of the meaning out of it. Yeah, when he just added like boobs and like weird sound effects. At this point, I said Julie's mom has now officially, I think it's Julie's mom, is now officially taken the reins as the worst actor who ever lived. When she's talking to, I think it's the teacher, about how
she
they
comes
found
to
her
when he
husband
comes
dead.
to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jesus Christ, she has like 3 lines, and they are all so bad. She's acting like what's her name from Sleepaway Camp at the beginning?
Oh,
yeah.
Aunt
She is.
Martha.
Yeah.
She really is acting like Aunt Martha from Sleepaway Camp, but unironically at all.
One of those lines, she's trying to explain that the dad is dead and that there's a lot of blood. For her, she just runs her lines together and like doesn't enunciate very well, so it sounds like she says "dad blood" at one point. She sounds like there's so much dad blood. Like, what?
The place is covered in dad blood.
Yeah.
But she just like misread that, and that's like the brand of the like fake blood or something. Sorry, that was a terrible joke.
That's actually they have a 5-gallon bucket on set. It's just called dad blood. It's really
Blood
it's
type
really
dad blood.
it's really special. it's something special when you can have that few lines and your performance is so bad that it's memorable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to be that inconsequential, to never show up again, but is memorable because you did such a bad job with the very small amount of things you were given to do.
Well, I mean, that's the way you want to stand out, though. Because, I mean, if you're just regular bad,
Yeah.
nobody will remember you.
True.
But if you're very, very bad, then because you have to be almost self-aware to know that you'll never be a leading actor or actress. But if you know that you can really stink it up,
Good Lord.
just get it in there, make it bang.
She was doing like she was projecting to the back of the theater. It was it was very much a stage actor delivery. I feel like, not unlike Aunt Martha.
Nope.
But yeah. So then Julie saws the mayor's. Was it the mayor's wife or no?
Daughter.
It was the mayor's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Priscilla. She saws her throat, and it looks like her throat's made of chewing gum. Like that's the effect is not great. They did a bad job. But then, the cavalry music keeps happening every single time. I don't know why I just made it a point to make a comment in my notes every single time that you saw the teacher. It was like da 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 da, like it, but he never fucking does anything.
Yeah, at this point, all he's doing is driving from house to house.
Yeah.
Because he drives to Julie's house, and then Julie's not there. So then that's when we cut to Julie cutting off Priscilla's head in the car. And then he drives to Priscilla's house. Is the next thing. And then he drives to his own house. It's just like,
he learns that she's dead via a phone call from the mayor, right? And then Julie knocks on the door, and now she's full on demonic Sandra Dee from Grease now. Like she's got the fucking leather and the hair up and everything. And I'm gonna describe what happens. Julie, I guess, tries to blow him, but then he cups her ear. Joe Green. and then she now has demon teeth and a glowing purple claw. And you're like, oh fuck, things are getting wild. And then she transitions into full on Mac and Me, like ball sack spaghetti demon.
yeah. It is a wild design to give it a giraffe neck, but then a bald, like curly Howard fucking, just And then the eyes on all these puppets bug me because they make them all very rounded, which is like something
like
you would do
almost.
Yeah, and it's something you would do for like an empathetic character. Like if you think of like other cartoon characters, the way like they're just big bulgy eyes or...
Well, imagine, it's like, I mean, especially this one is the one that looks a lot like Mac from Mac and Me, but especially the eyes. Because, think about that famous scene that, he used to, Paul Rudd used to always bring on the Conan O'Brien show.
Right. Yeah.
And he goes like, ooh, he pops up and has his eyes rolling around. This is what the fucking eyes look like.
And they want you, it's because those eyes are like supposed to connect you with humanity. That's not the eyes you put in fucking demon heads,
right?
I don't know if this would have been actually a thought out process. Like it probably was just like, what's the simplest type of eye to make? But if we are thinking about it, if like we kind of want to empathize with or sympathize for the kids that are getting turned into demons, so maybe I don't know.
Perhaps I do.
I just don't think it would have been a choice.
I like to imagine that the special effects guy was walking down the stairs, or he's walking down the street with his his tackle box full of eyes. He forgot to latch it properly. It opened up. A bunch of them went down the sewer drain. So he was like, they were like, hey, we need some eyes for this demon. He was like, oh, yeah, no problem. Oh, shit. All I got is big teddy bear eyes. All right, fuck it.
All I got is these big green eyes for fucking puppets for children.
Yeah. But the teacher just whoops on the demon with a tennis racket. And this is the type of thing where it's like the demon itself, I guess, if they just showed it for a quick second and like lit it well and, animated its limbs in a more deliberate way, it could have been effective, but instead they just throw him in the room with the teacher and go, all right, fight the demon, under like fluorescent lights. So it looks terrible. It looks fucking stupid and floppy and rubbery. And he sticks a tennis ball in its mouth, and and of course its mouth can't open and close, so it just kind of spits it back out. It just looks like a fucking yard prop because they just shot it so poorly.
Yeah. And this is another one of those things where, like, again, because it's in full daylight, in full interior light, you see all the flaws. You see, like, even a handle attached to the arm at one point.
Really? I didn't notice that.
You can see just like the scale is incorrect because it's obviously shorter because people are ducking down behind counters and stuff because they can't show the full prop. But like you're saying, Brian, if they shot it differently, like there's always that kind of lazy thing of like shooting from the POV of the monster. And they could have showed like the claws moving and going in and out.
Something.
It's just like, yeah.
Like it just, yeah.
But it's obviously they put a lot of work into this fucking thing, but at the same time, it's not like a good, I don't know, don't show it all.
Yeah, they did it a disservice for sure. Eventually, the teacher stabs the Julie demon and then decides he's going to go to the show. And he goes and stops and gets some gas, which why did they have to show him stopping and getting gas? Like stopping, pumping gas, like just come in with a gas tank, you know what I mean, with a gas can.
Maybe it was Texaco product placement.
I guess so. He walks in with the tank, 5-gallon tank of gas, and sneaks in very easily because all the kids are like kind of like kneeling down or something, and he's just walking in he finally starts like crawling up to the side of the stage. No one sees him. He's the most, he couldn't be more conspicuous looking. And then he just starts dumping gas on the stage. And at this point, Damien looks over and is like, get that guy, or some dumb line like that. And we did mention at this point that everyone is just like grabbing Damien's chode at this point. Like, there's just like 10 girls just like rubbing the spot between his balls and his asshole for some reason.
Yep.
I'm like, well, this is uncomfortable.
And for some reason, Julie's back.
Yeah, Julie's back. Did you just stab her? Then I actually went back and was like, wait, was that not Julie? But no, it's Julie.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Not at all.
And then they do this big dramatic reveal where now he's like painted up and he's got like all this makeup on and his hair's all blown out. And he basically looks like, oh shit, what's her name in Ghostbusters 2 where she opens the door and is like, are you the key master or whatever? What's her name?
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver, yeah.
Yeah, as Zool.
Zool, yeah. He kind of looks like Sigourney Weaver in this moment, like the way his hair's all teased out and his makeup's on and stuff. And he doesn't notice the tank of gas, I guess. And then he does this big reveal that he's bald. Like he's got a bald cap on. And they act like it's this like dun 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 moment, but it's just like he's bald, but we're like, we know he's a demon. So why do we care that he's bald? It's just, the demon transformation kind of happens, and then it goes from like kind of what you were seeing the first time around to now this like almost like kind of frog lizard monster type of thing. Like
that's
it looked
I said
like
lizard alligator type.
You would have thought
monster.
that it would be stomping around like a miniature city in like a kaiju movie. Like that's what it looked like.
It's do you remember Land of the Lost?
Oh shit, yes, you're right.
It looks like something that would be on Land of the Lost. Like this sort of, we tried to make a dinosaur, but it didn't come out right.
And we got to put a guy in it. And, so.
It's got to stand upright. So, like, it's got to be a guy, but I don't know. It has big forearms. So.
Yeah, but this was weird because it, like, the eyes actually blinked on this one. Like, they put a lot of money into this fucking suit.
Yeah, again, the eyes blink, but they're also still the rounded.
They are the big weird round eyes too.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like it. And then again, it's ball bag colored. It doesn't have like any horns. You would think, hey, horns would make it look demonish. There's not enough teeth on it. it looks just kind of looks like a failed dinosaur. So it's not.
Wish.com T-Rex. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't look intimidating. And then again, it's not filmed quite as well. And there's a scene where he kicks it in the crotch.
Yeah.
Despite there not being any dick or balls or cloaca or anything.
Nope.
But it still reacts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it acts like it got kicked in the nuts.
It acts
was
like
a
it got
Wolfman got Nard situation.
Yeah.
That was
But
like an accident they left in.
Yeah.
Right. And then the suit folds up. Like it's very
the rubber, you can see it fold.
Yeah, it's the most obvious guy in a suit part.
There's no
kick him in the balls.
muscle, there's no skin. It just literally looks like I said, it honestly just looked like a really low budget kaiju costume kind of thing. Then you get the saddest delivery of a like catchphrase ever. You know, when he goes, this is the teacher. He has now spread gas everywhere, I guess. And he goes to throw a flare that he has found. And he goes, show's over. But the like it didn't get the line very well. So they try to turn the volume up and it's like muffled. Yeah. So his big catchphrase is like, show's over. Like it sounds so bad. And
Did you guys notice that the band kept playing too through all of that scene, which was just so weird?
Well, they're in a trance. It's demonic trance. Come on.
Well, the thing is, they weren't playing before. The band was the guys that were holding him before he did the Captain Kirk fight.
Yeah.
And then they let him go play. They're like, yeah, now it's time to get it on. And they're going to start a fire. And what the hell? Why the hell did he grab Julie and then just yeet her off the stage?
Yeah. He throws her off the stage. And to make it even more confusing, two things. One, he's just going to set the theater on fire, is what he's trying to do, right? Does he just assume he's going to kill all the kids? Because the kids do snap out of it, but there's no contingency plan on how to get the kids out. He just runs out, leaves them all in there to burn.
He grabs Julie and leaves, and that's it.
Yeah.
The rest of them have to figure their shit out.
Yeah. And then they show him igniting the demon with the torch, with the flare. But then they cut back to inside and the demon's unharmed and the stage is on fire.
Yeah. And they're playing. Like Meg said, they're playing along, and then the demon is just waving its arms in the fire.
Yeah. And then and then I love this one. Just so meaningless, so dumb, just like such a predictable thing like a child would write into a script where you go outside and they're just like, well, that was a relief. We got out of here. Meanwhile, the entire school is full of burning children still. And and he's just like, the mayor comes up and goes, Jesus Christ, you were right all along. It's just like such a dumb. We didn't need that closure or anything. You know what I mean? It's just like just cut it right there. But then the Italian kid comes out and does an extended arm burn. And he's just like, you motherfuckers. He's just like, it's just
nobody knows who he's yelling at. He's just yelling because he's on fire and nobody's helping him.
Oh, it's just so it makes absolutely no sense. There's no reason for it. No one's trying to put him out. No one's really concerned. And then the like literally a child was just on fire. One of your students was on fire, and the mayor just goes, "This is a nightmare." He says it very much like that. He says it like he got to Avis Rent-A-Car and they didn't have any cars left. Like, that's how he said it. But instead, he was referring to all the children being burned alive.
Right.
He's like, this is a nightmare.
All the parents are dead and all the children are burning.
Yeah.
This is a real nightmare.
Yeah, this is a whole thing.
This is wild. You know that? This is crazy. Like,
honestly, this is getting ridiculous.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I have to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna write an email. I'm gonna call customer service.
Yeah. I don't think I should be mayor anymore.
Oh, such a strange line delivery. And then you get, of course, the news broadcast of Black Roses and Damien are they obviously survived. Not only did they survive, this is 6 months later, and they are kicking off their global tour in New York at sold out Madison Square Garden. And, you know, obviously they're going to take over the fucking world or whatever the insinuation there is. And then they cut to credits, and it's just that corny, dorky headshot of Damien, and it just goes, evil.
Yeah, that was so weird.
It was so strange. It was like in early, like end of the 8-bit, early 16-bit era of video games where they would do you remember in like Blades of Steel where it's the first time you ever heard a human's voice through like an 8-bit system? It's like Blades of Steel. Like that's what it sounds like. It's like evil. And then it's credits.
And I was like half expecting, I was like, did he like screw up the line or something? Because I thought it was going to be like evil never dies or something like that. But no, he's just evil.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the laugh. I forgot about the laugh. Oh Jesus Christ,
just like,
it's terrible.
Fuck.
It is definitely one of those movies that is bad enough to be fun. Mm-hmm. For sure. And honestly, it's worth watching for the damn demon musical number right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I really, I undersold it maybe, but I really appreciated the principal getting yeeted out the window too. That was very funny, and I very much enjoyed it.
Two good yeets. Principal out the window. Julie off the stage.
Oh, Julie getting yeeted off the stage. I forgot about that. That was a good one.
This movie is something like I'm not the biggest fan of remakes, but this movie could definitely like be served by a remake.
Yeah.
You make the band a death metal band, you make the effects better, you make the carnage a little bit more. You have a pretty decent movie.
I could see... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, I kind of feel yes and no, because I feel like the time and place of it like made sense for this movie to come out. Obviously, why there was like so many other ones at the same time, but I would watch if they remade it.
If they turned it
probably,
into
if it was Gwar, it would be Gwar as the band, though.
Yeah. Yeah, if they turned it into like a horror comedy type of thing, and they kept it kind of lighthearted but added some moderately spooky things in there, and if they made it if like Edgar Wright or something did it, you know what I mean, where they made it kind of funny, and then the townspeople had a personality and they were all like painfully British, you know what I mean? Like that would be fun. Like imagine like in fucking Hot Fuzz or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I think would make it fun.
Yeah. There's ways to improve upon this movie. It doesn't need to happen, but you could make it better.
Yeah. If you felt so inclined.
Yeah.
All right, boys and ghouls. That is our mini-sode for this week. Go find yourself Black Roses on Tubi. I think it's certainly worth a watch, especially if you go in with the right expectations. And as always, give us some more suggestions. Is there stuff you want to hear us talk about? Are there films that maybe we don't know about that are just so fucking ridiculous that we absolutely, need to discuss them on the show? Please give us those suggestions. Shoot us over to social medias. If you just search Halloween is Forever, you're going to find us on there. And mark that calendar. If you live in the greater Pittsburgh area, June the 25th, we're going to do that there live show. We're going to do some fun games. We're going to talk about Midsommar and drink some damn beer. So put that on the calendar. Anything else that I am forgetting?
Go watch the go complete John Fasano's Rock and Roll Nightmare trilogy of Rock and Roll Nightmare, Zombie Nightmare, and This is a Nightmare.
This is a nightmare, you guys. All right. we will be back next week with our Creatures from the Deep Showdown episode, boys and ghouls. Go out tonight. Cancel your plans. Watch Deep Blue Sea. Then, immediately after that, watch The Host. Then, immediately after that, watch Piranha 3D. Back to back to back.
Everyone's off.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Lock yourself in the house. It's supposed to be, I know here in Pittsburgh, it's supposed to be 1,000,000 fucking degrees. Sit in the air conditioning, watch movies, smoke drugs. That's what I always say. And with that being said, for the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I will continue to be champ.
You shut your dirty mouth. Bye!